So Jack Bauer and My Little Pony had been sitting at the side of the road for some time when Jack turned to My Little Pony and said, "Hey, Haggis McHaggis, how long have we been waiting here?" "Dude, don't call me that," said My Little Pony. "It's superfluous." "What?" said Jack. "Who I am doesn't matter," said My Little Pony. "I could be Alex Cholet from Hoboken, New Jersey. I could be a nanny from Yugoslavia eating lobster bisque. It's totally arbitrary. We're just waiting for this guy to turn up." Jack Bauer nodded and went back to eating his strudel. There were times, thought Jack, when the pony could be a bit of an arsehole. And Jack usually got answers to things by breaking people's fingers. But the pony didn't have fingers, the pony had hooves. Still, as far as he could tell, the pony wasn't some double, triple agent. Sometimes the pony looked like a potato or a platypus. Maybe, thought Jack, the opium has finally kicked in. "So tell me," said Jack, "tell me, Heather Draper, has it been 24 hours yet since we got here?" The pony, potato, platypus just laughed. By now, it was all kind of discombobulated, floating 3 feet above 2 pairs of galoshes that looked like they would march off at any moment on their own. The more the pony looked like a potato, the more superfluous the galoshes started to look. Jack thought at this point that he'd better lay down. But he didn't have a pillow, so instead he placed his head on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that he'd found in the pocket of the shiny latex jumpsuit that he didn't remember putting on. Jelly squished out of the side of the sandwich in a vivid, vibrant burst of colour. It was a colour that did occur in nature, just not any kind of nature that Jack was familiar with. "That's not how you make porridge," someone said. Jack lifted his head up and looked around. The sandwich had an indentation in it, but it wasn't the shape of Jack's head. It looked more like the shape you'd get if you took a statue of the Virgin Mary and pressed it into a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. "Did you say something?" he asked the platypony. "Retrain your brain," the pony laughed, or sang, or whispered, or said nothing at all. It occurred to Jack that perhaps his brain needed to be a better fit for his new statue-shaped head. He wished he'd never eaten that Oreo cookie, the one that said, "Eat me" on it. It was at that point that he heard, in quick succession, "If it's not Scottish, it's crap. Get in my belly." And "Look at that heat. It's like a giant orange on a toothpick." There was a huge Canadian cloud hovering overhead, and it was raining Mike Myers catchphrases. Jack rolled his eyes. Or was it the Virgin Mary's eyes? He was feeling exasperated. "What say we tip a canoe and Tyler too?" said the pony. But Jack wasn't listening. He was busy watching his eyes rolling down the road. They'd somehow managed to commandeer a can of beans that was rolling past, along with a stick, a sock, and a conch shell. And now they were rolling the eyeballs on top of the beans can, yelling "Ride 'em cowboy" at each other. Jack wanted answers. As we've already covered, usually breaking people's fingers got him results. But the pony didn't have fingers, and Jack didn't want to break his own. Maybe the person they were waiting for, the person who was going to turn up, would have a basket full of fingers, and Jack could break his way through them until he had all the answers to everything in the universe. But for now, he found himself muttering "Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers" under his breath, and "supercalifragilisticexpialidocious," phrases that he'd usually use to describe nonsense, but were finally starting to make more sense. "Jesus can walk on water," observed the platypus, "but Chuck Norris can walk on Jesus." For a moment, Jack thought he could relate. Chuck Norris understood the value of a broken finger. Chuck would show up in any movie as like a drifter, here to put things right. You could say a transient authority. He'd find the shady mofo behind all of this. And before you could say, "Aw, skeet skeet, I love my meat girlfriend, Faz Fanunigan, Taylor Cambry is the shiz," or for that matter, butt sex, quicker than King someone, I can't read my own writing. This is what I'm looking at. Faster than you could whip up a haiku of Cracker Jacks. I don't know what that means. That doesn't make any sense. Chuck would have reduced this endless onion layered parody of reality into something more manageable, from a not so awesome blossom into a Pavlovian dessert. Jack was salivating. He thought about all the people back in the city and cried 98 tears, or 96 tears, I forget which. Question mark in the Mysterions, look it up. Jack was salivating. He thought about all the people, oh, I've read that, which made his weeping Virgin Mary statue head look kind of miraculous. The Virgin Mary, oh, my writing sucks at this point. The Virgin Mary was like a pulchritudinous apparition, I was going to say aspiration, hovering above his shoulder blades. He was kind of getting used to it, though her ears seemed tiny compared to the ones that he had before. He could faintly hear the platypus saying something about giving money to someone called Larry, a childhood friend. But Jack wasn't sure if Larry was also a pony, but then again, the pony was no longer a pony, hadn't been a pony for a long time. "Is Larry coming soon?" someone asked. Jack realised his voice sounded small, feminine and statue-like. At this point he thought, bugger this, let's go and have a pint down the pub with my friend Lucia, whose name I can't pronounce. That was supposed to be the end. I also have the words boobies written down. Pudding and Pappy, ringtone. I think I've covered everything. Yeah. That's about it. T-Mobile, Loch Lomond, King Camelin, pulchritudinous. Anyway, I hope that made some sense. If I forgot any of the words that you wanted to say, I'm sorry, but I did what I could. I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon making more videos, so I hope that was entertaining for you, my MySpace blog reading friends, and cheers. This bud's for you. Hey, I'm just checking in my notepad and I've already figured out that I forgot to say I don't pimp often, cause pimping ain't easy. I said pillow, I said boobies at the end. Someone wanted me to beatbox. Not happening, I'm afraid. I'm a white boy from Scotland. Pudding and Pappy we said. Pavlova, yeah, we did that. Bush, fart about, do now cool. Once again, look, if my writing makes any sense to you, I covered as many words as I think I could fit in. Maybe I'll do another of these sometime. So if I didn't get to you, I apologise, but next time, I swear, take care.